That's been missing for Unicorns of Love. I think if they fix that, or just pick some early game champions, like hop off the Tristana, play some Lucian, play some Corki, play something like that, maybe even Caitlyn, Unicorns can just have a different type of game come out for them.
And Millenium going back to the ban of the Orianna over the Kazakhs, so they're going to first pick it themselves. And they have their red and blue side bans just hashed out already.
Yep. Always removing the Syndra, always removing the Jarvan. They let Orianna go through once, said, you know what, that was pretty scary from Power of Evil. But Unicorns of Love have just gone for these same 3 bans this time around. They could still get the Maokai, they could still get Gilius Lee Sin. But I think here you actually grab the Lucian away from Creatine, and you give Vardogs a champion he can win lane with.
I don't think that you pick the Lee Sin here because it's not contested because Kazakh's already on the field. You go with the Lucian, which is highly contested. Creatine has played that both games, and it is Vardag's most comfortable champion for him. At the same time, though, do you want something for Hylissang? Do you want to secure that Thresh? I don't think so.
No.
You go with the Lucian here.
There's nowhere for the Thresh there. J-Reed doesn't... Okay, J-Reed does play Thresh, to be fair, but, like, he surely doesn't care about it, right? The Nami's not that important. Thank you for clicking Lucian. That is, I think, the correct lock-in here for Unicorns of Love.
Okay. They're going to leave Maokai up.
They'll leave Maokai up. Interesting.
Instead, they're going to wait to see what happens up in the top lane.
Well, you remember, they hovered on Maokai as a bait, I think. Remember, this is the guy who played Swain top in a Maokai.
Yep.
So there's always the chance. So Nami does get picked up for what it's worth. Okay, showing that it is, yeah, the same thing, right? Over and over and over again, J-Reed is going to play that some more. Created is going to go back to his token Ezreal, though, when he doesn't get Lucian.
Just another lane bully for him. Of course, Lucian excels a little bit more in that regard.
Yeah.
With the Nami by his side, Ezreal is extremely potent for all-ins.
Well, the thing is, Ezreal is he can all-in. I wouldn't classify him personally as a lane bully. I would classify him as a champion where he's just very unique in team fights, right? He's the best poking AD carry, and that was actually a difficulty for Millenium. It was closing games out with the Siege. They've got a good AD carry for that. And the fact that Kerp can actually help these sort of mid-game team fight all-ins by putting True Shot Barrage through. I'd consider more like sort of like a Graves or something where like he's there for the mid-game caster potential and then his safety overall in team more than the laning phase.
I understand that.
Yeah, I don't think you classify champions as like hyper carries and lane bullies. There's a lot more
a little
like the
gray area.
Varus and the Ezreals, right?
Yeah, we're just like lane bullies. It's like Lucian, Caitlyn, and then you go down Corki, and then
and that's fine to play those.
Eventually, you get to Ezreal because he's not a hyper carry, but he has this place where he fits in.
Yeah,
which is like caster AD.
He's very mid gaming, and yeah, he's a very big caster AD carry. So Ari does come back through Power of Evil. Did not get the Orianna. Just picks something that sounds very similar. Give me Ari. Ariana. Ari. What? Good enough. We're good. We're good. First syllable is the same. We're going to move forward. Thresh grabbed here for Hylissang, and the top laner still preserved here for Unicorns of Love. Vizichachi wants a counter pick here. Will it be 3x Mundo for Kevin, first of all?
I think so. That's usually what he's comfortable on. And when you're going for this closing out game and you want to do it in style, you just go back to that Mundo. It hasn't not worked out for him.
Yeah, it's worked just fine. Even on low farm, he's been tanky and gotten away. Mid lane Rise the hover, though.
It works well against Ari. You have good ranges. You just harass her during the early game a tiny bit. And then when you want to lock her down, you just have point and click during her ultimate.
Okay,
no skill shots, the big thing.
Yeah. So the thing is, Rise is a little susceptible to getting ganked. He can only be at the 600 range mark to last hit, and of course, yes, he's going to run probably Ghost Flash here. What? Okay! Vizichachi locks in Poppy top.
So it was really funny yesterday when Atlas was going, they locked in this for themselves, but that does leave Xin Zhao and Poppy up. But I guess it does leave Poppy up for Unicorns of Love in this case.
So here's the cool thing. Unicorns of Love's older jungler, Sheepy, yeah. He is now the coach of Unicorns of Love. And I got to run into him. You and I both ran into him earlier today. And I was like, so what's the deal with like your guys' strategy? You guys are playing really smart with wards and everything. And he's like, actually, it's mostly the players. I'm helping, but my players are all really smart actually overall. I was like, so what's the deal with all these weird picks like Swain top? He's like, actually, Vizichachi comes up with those. I do a lot of 1v1 lane tests with him. We test a lot of 1v1 matchups. And I tell him, no, this is working, go play it. But he's the guy who comes up with these. So I assume Sheepy signed off and said, yep, Poppy's the thing now. So guys, if you saw something that made you want to change your vote, might be Poppy, maybe. Send your tweet to @LOL Esports, use the hashtag MILWin, or, come on, Hashtag UOL win. We'll see if you guys think Poppy's going to take the victory here in Game 3.
I was just told that this is the first time that Poppy has ever been played on the LCS stage competitively, ever.
Yep. Has been played during rehearsals, I'm pretty sure.
So here's the thing, is we did that feature on new champions. Poppy is definitely not a new champion, but you heard Trashy talk about it's more on the other people who don't know how to play against it. How do you react to that type of champion? You have to know what its damage output is and do damage assessment on something that you haven't played against before.
And the cool thing as well is whenever I see a Poppy, I always think, who is your best ult target? Because Diplomatic Immunity makes you immune to literally everything that any champion can do to you except the guy you target here. Mundo only has cleavers. Cotnex would not be able to kill him. And I mean, he has a slow, I guess. Creatin has no CC at all and probably couldn't kill him either. And J-Re, maybe you don't ult him because he has that CC sort of potential. So I want to see who Vizichachi targets and see how much he can sort of ignore and who he can kill.
You go man mode and you just slam Creatin out of the fight. And then it's over.
Yeah.
Boop. Going after the Poppy.
Scarlet Hammer.
He's already has movement speed as his first.
W at level 1. It's fine. I think... I don't know if he actually, like, Twitch leveled it because he was getting hit or what, but... So, fun fact. Scarlet Hammer Poppy is 100% play rate of all Poppy players on this stage.
It must be an extremely popular skin.
Yeah.
That or your sample size is way too small. It's got to be the former.
Hey, it's how you use the sample size, not how big it is.
Oh. I know exactly what's going on in this jungle here. In Vizichachi, the fact that he's not going to have anything for that level 1 except for some movement speed, and I guess some extra
armor and AD.
Armor. He doesn't have any hitting ability, so they're going to try to go for a lane swap here.
Poppy not exactly the best 1v2 also.
No.
We'll see how these lanes match up. So Millenium have a lot of trinket wards down in the northern jungle. They could re-invade. They see that no one is around to contest though, so Millenium could get a very safe buff steal. And the thing is, this is supposed to be UOL's strong side of the map, and that trinket ward timed out. Wow. Millenium are going to get this completely clean.
And the question is, does Unicorns of Love figure out what's going on in time that Gilius can go over to the enemy red buff and take it for himself and get a 2-buff start?
We got to see. Poppy walks to the bottom lane, sees no one is there, realizes 2v2 top. I think they can, at this point, assume bot lane is where you go next.
Oh, the W start for Power of Evil.
Yeah. Probably he's not getting much damage out of that, actually. He's also getting no push at all. So Kerper's being, honestly, untouched as he kind of shoves minions down. All right, Gilius does choose it right. Kevin does not try to stop that. It's fine. He's going to sit there in the 1v1. And I think actually Poppy can handle Mundo 1v1.
Yeah,
I think he'll get licensed to farm.
He has a ton of consumables right now. He's looking to just consume out of this lane and try to bully Kevin as much as he can. As crazy as it sounds, this Poppy is going to be slamming this Mundo a tiny bit.
So what's cool about this as well, Vizichachi literally can never take full damage from one of Kevin's cleavers. It's actually impossible.
Ooh. Creating on that Ezreal. Comfort picks coming out here for a lot of these players. Vardag's on his, Hylissang, Gilius, and then Creatin, J-Re, and Kevin. Cotnex as well. He's wrapping around. He avoided all wards in this duo lane in the top.
Well, we got to see, though. Nami's going to have to land some CC here. I don't think Kha'Zix can do it by himself. Vardox is injured. He doesn't chug his potion, though. He has no reason to not eat that thing. Get some health back, bro. That actually could really burn him here. 400 health is very killable. Even without Bubble. Bubble, ooh, gets Hylissang. Vardox says, yeah, I'll summoner heal you. Hook, nice by Hylissang to try to get away, but he might still go down. They trade blows, Ignite on Cotnex. But that is 3 summoners down for UOL.
The hook saving Hylissang there, and then the flash afterwards. Good play by him to make the best of a bad situation. And now Gilius is going to try to go bully Cotnex in his jungle.
What a good trinket ward to look at that by Cotnex to realize what was going on. Watches the root in. Gilius going to say, hey, you were here. And says, you know, you're actually at Tribrush right now. You have to be because of how the Wraith moved.
He's going to go take the Wolves now in return and do a little bit of counter jungling. At the same time, though,
he could actually sneak in. Oh, no, he saw him. Kotnex waited long enough, said, you might come by here. Kerp is there for the flank.
Looking
He's going to
for the
get the Ruin
lantern.
Prison. Good damage in. The Lantern's there, hops to it. He's going to be safe, but good damage from Nami. Ignite is on, and Gilius gives up first blood and double buffs to Kerp.
The roam from Kerp, the Ghost, the Flash, using everything to secure double buffs for himself. And now J-Re taking a little bit of a hook there.
Really good play. The heal bounces around. Good dodge in the bubble as well. Creatins is back off my support.
Well, Kotnex wrapping around top.
30 to 18 in CS, by the way. Millenium are absolutely dominating his bottom lane.
You know the Kotnex is here, but look at this. So much for the Unicorns love. People want the Poppy to work. They believe. But is it false hope? Oh, look at that. Beating up the Mundo. Counter pick confirmed. There's going to be a lot more Poppies today.
I believe it. Jungle Fizz, Poppy top, mid lane Talon.
Oh, Hylissang.
Gotta be careful.
Not
Good
fighting
damage
turret.
coming through. He's definitely going to die here. Great bubble out of Vardox. Caught getting some good damage down. 100 health. Gilius comes in. Summoner heal. Keeps them alive though. And here comes the Poppy. Can he get the slam? Yes, he gets the first kill. And wow, a double kill for VisiChachi on Poppy. Doesn't get any more.
He just space jammed him. That was awesome. Oh, Kerp. After Power of Evil.
Good charm though, dude. Power of Evil wins that trade pretty heavily.
But here comes
and
Gilius.
Suddenly a Lee Sin. Ruin Prison doesn't matter. Ignite is on. That's a kill. Unicorns of Love finally get a good early game. 3-2 and kill.
They are back into this game. They don't have a lead though. They equalized it off of what ended up happening top. They're down in summoner spells. But then, good play there, but a little over-aggression from Kotnex for Hylissang.
All right, suddenly Unicorns of Love, they can breathe a little bit, and maybe they can make this work. Also, by the way, Poppy is a crazy late-game terror. So I feel like any of the squishes on Millenium going to have some nightmares, because fed Poppies are ludicrous.
I'm just glad it's not Lollipoppy, because that's even scarier for nightmares.
No, we've already established you have to play Scarlet Hammer.
It's the only way to go, I guess.
Yep. Ooh, statistically true. Man, look how fast he kills that golem.
He's almost 6. He's almost 6. He is so... Oh, this is gonna
He's ready. He's got a Sheen.
Are we ready for this? He's gotten back into this lane. Oh, wow. The 6 coming out here. The TP from VisiChachi. Not being shut down this game. Not being camped by Kotnex. And it's working out great for him. This new pick.
You know, picking Poppy's illegal in some countries, but VisiChachi's got diplomatic immunity. He's in a foreign country, it works, guys.
He is actually. That's right. Welcome to LA.
It's not a country.
It's the city that we're in, Freak.
Actually, we're not.
That's true. It's the county.
Okay. We finally got there. It's like a country. Gilius comes in though. Nice Q, gonna land that nice slows. Almost gets the wall slam. And Kevin will get to safety.
The level 6 came out for Kevin, so the gank is a little bit late there by Gilius. If he had gotten there when he was level 5, there was no chance he was making it out of that. He didn't even have to blow his flash there.
It's true though. It's a little bit of wasted time. Gilius though, sending a message certainly. Kotnex, ooh, look at this with the blue buff crap. He's only level 4, but is scaling up rather nicely off these buff steals.
And Gilius at the same time still has those double buffs swinging on him. Doesn't go for his red first. Instead,
Thinks he can get blue.
He's making a dip towards this blue. It's going to waste some of his time.
I think he saw Kotnex on the ward.
He just saw Kotnex walk back, so he knows exactly what's going on. They know that Power of Evil, they want to get him a blue, so they're going to go after the enemy blue now. And Kerp?
They have a ward, but Kerp goes around the ward. He's not going to get spotted.
Kerp's not going to go for this at all.
Okay.
His jungler, Kotnex, is doing the red, so there's no way that he's going to be around.
This is looking a lot better. Unicorns of Love making much better choices. Gold lead very slight for them. Kotnex, red buff, level 6. Okay.
Here's the thing, though, is that Millenium, they have always had this early game lead, but we'll talk about that
hold
in a
on.
second
Creation
here.
taking a whole bunch of damage. The Lantern in. There's the True Shot Rush. Dodged away by Hylissang. And there's the kill for Vardox. Now on a J-Re. 400 health, forcing the flash. And here comes Kotnex, though. Goes in. Double kill, though. It's going to be Kotnex trying to pick this up. He gets one. He goes in towards Hylissang. Takes a bunch of damage from the box, though. TP not up for VisiChachi, and Kevin's looks like his got canceled. And Hylissang's not going to win that fight. Kerp will get this kill, though. But here comes Power of Evil. Not going to be enough.
They get the flash out of Kerp. Power of Evil pops his ultimate. And that teleport from Kevin was actually interrupted by VisiChachi.
Yep. So both bot lanes die, but a double kill all the same, I believe, for Vardox himself. If I got my counting right. Kerp now taking some decent damage.
So here's the thing I wanted to talk about was Millennium. They've always had an early game lead versus Unicorns of Love based off of kills and Cottonex's map movements. But here's the thing. They've always managed to somehow let UOL get back into the game, which is huge. They just had an advantage there. They tried to push it too hard and in the incorrect way without proper vision, and they got collapsed on. And now Unicorns of Love are actually in the lead by like a tiny bit of gold.
And they're going to play Dragon for this one, actually.
And TP advantage is in favor of Visitachi's.
Kevin and Kerp can't get there. This has got to be Unicorns of Love's Dragon, unless there's a Miracle Steal from Cottonex.
He's not going to make it in time. Even if he leaps right now, no.
All right, there you go. One of the first Dragons ever. I think this is like the second or third total Dragon for Unicorns of Love in this series. But it puts them 1,000 gold up. And they've still got that late game insurance policy of the highest CS in the game, Poppy. How?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know why Poppy's picked right now.
Because she's awesome. What do you mean, why was Poppy picked?
Just don't do this to me.
She even uses Trinity Force. How could you not like this champion?
Whoa. I thought she's not going to get an Infinity Edge, though.
Actually, some do. I've seen a lot of Poppy builds.
You've seen a lot of Poppy in your days. Freak has seen some stuff.
There's a couple of low D1 Poppy mains. They are terrifying.
You run into them all the time.
A couple. This dude named Opened. He kills me a lot.
Yeah, I saw you play Aurelian in Italy. You do get killed a lot.
Yeah, I do. This is why I'm casting. I'm like double lift.
Whoa. Anyway. Oh, he can't even defend himself right now.
Sounds like his in-game play. Oh! Visitachi though, man. 83 CS on a Poppy. Kevin's got to be afraid of him.
This minion wave is somehow pushing towards him, too. And he's just like, yes, all this farm. Even more. Remaining the highest CS member in the game.
This is something I'd always wondered when it was going to happen. You have champions like Dr. Mundo who are not bully laners, right? They sit there and farm. Why not play the worst laners in the world against him and just scale? Visitachi's like, guys, it's a license to play Poppy. I can't lose lane. It's impossible.
Yeah, that is really true. And the fact that they got him that counter pick on red side.
Bam!
Oh!
Half health on Kevin from one combo.
So my green ward.
Yep. So by the way, Poppy build, max Q, maxing W second. Only 1 point in the charge. Is going for Triforce first, Sheen then Phage. For what it's worth, actually, I think Poppy's really heavily magic damage dependent until she gets more items. Because while she actually has decent auto attacks later on in the game, her Q converts her entire damage into magic damage, even if it's like a Triforce where it's normally physical damage proc. So you're very magic damage heavy. You often see Deathfire Grasp and Sork Shoes on Poppy because of that.
Whoa, what?
You sometimes see DFG, Sork Shoes, Triforce, or Lichbane.
Please no. This just sounds like a nightmare.
It exists. You like one-shot people with magic damage.
You often see this build on Poppy.
Relative to seeing Poppy.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. If I see one Poppy player do it, it's got to be the most popular Poppy
It's like
build.
Scarlet Hammer Poppy, dude, 100%.
He hasn't done it just yet.
He's clearly very good at killing golems.
Yeah. The fact that his Q has so many things that go into it, it's got like an AP and AD ratio, a flat health portion of, or flat damage portion of it. Then it has a % HP damage portion on it on top of it.
Yep.
So it's like 4 sources all just like whoop into one skill.
It's a lot of damage.
Especially against a Mundo. I'd be very interested to see what his damage is like at the end of this game.
You know what's ironic, actually? Because of her passive being, like, if you take more than 10% of your current health and damage, it gets cut by half. Talon's Q is actually really effective against her, because it's like a long bleed, which is Noxian Diplomacy. So apparently her diplomatic immunity doesn't work against Noxian Diplomacy. The more you know. Ability puns I've never had the chance to use before. All right. 1,700 gold lead. Millennium are trying to squeak back in. Of course, they're up 2-0 in this best of 5. And Unicorns of Love maybe making their comeback here. If they finally got that early game lead, they're actually stretching that gold lead as well. They are up a turret kill. Their bot lane made it happen. Creatin's early game CS lead that was 31-18. That's been closed now. Vardox is equal again in CS. iEdge and Trinity Force both done. Kerb hooked in. Charm lands into the box. Nice ignite as well. Do they have the damage though? He's going to walk back. Just going to survive.
UOL, Power of Evil, did not use his ignite or his ultimate there.
Oh man. If Kerp stays.
They had kill potential on Kerp.
Well, Hillsong used his Ignite, though. Yeah,
Still, initial damage.
The ulti chase might have worked.
Yes.
To be completely fair. Ult in, flash away with Ignite on. I think you're totally right about that one. Mid lane turret is going to go down, though. The pressure they put in was enough. Good rotation by UOL. And now looks like top lane going to be the focus of attention.
Kevin's going to have to book it out of there because he's going to have to sacrifice that turret. The rest of Millenium are not even close. They're going to cut him off in the lane.
All right, Hillsong flays him in. Hook. Oh! He just mad life that poor guy. Kevin's going to go down. The ulti that Power People saved. Ha! Zyrene is going to let them get the kill, and down goes top lane outer turret.
Why'd you just laugh at me?
Because you're like, oh, if he ulted, he would have killed Kurt, bro.
Oh.
I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry. Poppy's got me all like hyped up about making fun of things now. I just can't help it.
Yeah, he's actually running hybrid penetration in his reds. And he's running HP regen in his wins, so that he can stay in the lane.
Makes sense.
Started with Flask and 3 potions, so that regardless of what lane he got, he's going to be pretty decent at staying alive and getting the CS that he needs to be in that late game.
All right, yeah, just sucks it up and kills minions no matter what damage it deals to him.
This is so good. The play into the hook after the flash. So good. So good. And Power People got the kill. Deathfire, Grasp, Void Staff is going to be his build here. Here's the ward control from UOL and the positional advantage on this dragon. They don't even have a mid turret tier 1 to give up at this point, so this dragon is practically theirs. They just need Vizichachi to show up. Yeah.
Thanks, Santorin. It's like listen to the cast, bro. Kevin charmed up, though. This is not good for him. A lot of damage, and there comes Poppy. He ults Kevin, doesn't care. Goes for J-Ree, half health on the Nami. 1 for 0 so far. Nice knockback. J-Ree in the air,
what are you
and
doing?
Down he goes. Vizichachi gets a double kill. Down goes Cotton Neck, but Kerp is on a rampage. Finds one. Goes for Gilius. Bit of damage there. He's cut off. Oh, Creatine flashes in. The Q hit. Nice pick up there. A 3 for 2 so far in Unicorn's favor. Kerp could maybe get out. Vizichachi.
I don't know. Swiggity swooty, Vizichachi's coming for it.
Oh, flat on the wall. Kerp does not have flash. That's going to be the kill. Gilius steals it from Vizichachi.
Vizichachi was known as the Swain player. He's pretty much the Poppy player now, because he was the only Poppy player in the LCS.
Yep. 4-0-1 on Poppy. So they did fight. They turned off Dragon.
TP.
Kevin wants to contest this. Of course, there's low health bars in Unicorn.
Tons of pink wards here from Unicorns of Love. Low health bars, like you said, they haven't been back to buy.
1,400 gold on Poppy. She has teleport. So we'll see what the build ends up being. I have no idea.
Oh, to the face.
Could be Cutlass.
Boots Cutlass.
Yes! All right. Sorry, I feel really excited that I knew that. So the thing is, I don't know if it's Gunblade or Blade of the Rune King. Both are totally viable on Poppy. The more you know.
Talking about viable Poppy builds. 2014. How is this 2014?
Almost every item in the game is viable on Poppy.
Sure this isn't like 2010?
Whatever, dude. That's great. Name an item. I'll bet you it works on Poppy.
Ohm-Wrecker.
Execution, Calling, Ohm-Wrecker, both viable. Because her passive doesn't work on turrets, so Ohm-Wrecker makes sure she can turret dive.
Frost Queen's claim.
Extra slow, 4 CC.
You're just naming what the items do.
Great.
Vizichachi 4-0-1 on this Poppy, and you can't help but think, it's probably not going to be banned next game. Because because it's red side, it was red side counter pick.
Oh, true. Kevin just won't pick Mundo.
Yeah. He would stray away from that into something else.
So yeah, if he knew like Darius or Aurelia would do great there in that matchup, I think Aatrox as well, all things in his pool. So yeah, things to keep in mind. Vizichachi going to make his way back up. He's looking for the flank play. This is good. And Unicorns of Love.
Waddling through.
3,000 gold down. Vizichachi goes in. Kerp, though, gets exploded. Oh! Fardogs gets the kill. Kevin also in a really bad spot. Millenium not playing with a deficit well at all.
Unicorns of Love play much better with a deficit than Millenium do. And now the Unicorns of Love have an advantage. They are pushing it so hard against Millenium. Back when Unicorns of Love was down about 5k, it looked like they were even.
Yeah.
Now when they're up 5k, it looks like they're up 10.
And they're just massively blowing people out. Vizichachi zoning people out with his body. Mid lane turret goes down 4-2 in turrets, 12-6 in kills. Unicorns of Love just turned it on this game, finally.
And they're going to go straight for this dragon after that play, and they're going to pick up even more gold for themselves. Their vision control is impeccable across the map around the objectives that they set up for, and it's really funny because when we...
Oh, God. Oh, he's been revealed by that little lizard guy. Cretan knows. He has to know. Steal it.
Surprise!
Oh, into the wall. Oh, my God, Cretan. Jeez. Why'd you stand by a wall? You know someone's there. Dragon goes to Unicorns of Love. They are up 6,000 gold 20 minutes in. Krip's got a blue buff. He's going for, yeah, some early magic resist, yeah.
It'll help against the Poppy a tiny bit. That Poppy, he's even with highest CS in the game right now.
Dude.
Too good.
Props.
Too good. Ghost Poppy. He's
So
just gonna
many
run
props.
in. It's funny too because Poppy's this champion that people make like highlight reels of, where it's Poppy like 1v5ing because of the passive.
Right.
But you never see it in competitive play because its laning phase is just so hard to get through. But if you pick it into something like a Mundo, you have no problem there.
Yep.
So UOL pulling like every time they're up against a wall, Vizichachi's like, I got this pocket pick. It's like people are like Maokai. He's like, pick it. I got Swain. And then Kevin's like, okay, we ditched the Maokai, Mundo. And he counter picks with the Poppy. Because he hovered over the Maokai at the start, and he was like, I kind of want... No, scratch that. I'm pretty sure that champion select took so long because he's sitting there going, no, I'm going to pick Poppy this game. His team's like, no, it's game 3. We could lose. No, he's like,
yeah, it's the point.
Trust me, Poppy.
Play Poppy.
Poppy. What do we have to lose? We lose the game? Okay.
Yeah, standard wasn't working. You heard the video about it, right? Double have said it. If you're gonna get outplayed in a standard play something different.
Yeah.
That's the case. So furthering the point, all 6 boot options are good on Poppy. Vizichachi goes for swiftest boots. They all have a place. I'm not even kidding. Also distortion boots for the extra TP power, so he's gonna be all over the place.
And Ghost.
Yeah, his Ghost is gonna be faster and on a really short cooldown.
He's so fast.
Zoom.
He's going bottom lane. The split push Poppy Terror, 2 levels up over Kevin.
Look at that.
What?
Yeah, that's how much health he deals.
He crit him.
I don't even know if he did.
He crit him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he crit him there.
Did you see the text? I didn't.
Yeah, I think it was a small text, but he crit him.
All right, I trust you.
I'm happy.
Was it Scarlet text? Were there Scarlet letters?
He's not committing adultery, please.
Also, their numbers, duh. Siege top lane, Unicorns of Love, 6,000 gold lead. And of course, they have Lucian Ari here. This actually is a decent Siege team.
This is way too funny. Vizichachi's just like, I'm going to split push bottom.
Oh, contact into the charm. Down he goes. Kerp now to fire back. Vardogs loses a whole bunch of health, but he's going to stay alive. Gilius taking some damage. Kerp is still pretty farmed.
But
he gets hooked in. The charm as well.
There's the TP.
And here comes Poppy. Down goes Kerp. And there's the knockback. Goodbye, Creatine. Double kill for Vardogs.
Look how fast he is. He's still. Oh, he goes straight for the turret.
Doesn't even take damage, dude.
Vroom.
Baron in the sights of Poppy.
Why does Poppy just look so scary right now? Usually you're just
like,
she
always does.
No, she doesn't usually look scary.
Does.
No, she does not usually look scary. Usually you're just like, this Poppy is man. And then,
no.
I haven't played against Poppy Terrors.
Pop, like, you know how everyone thinks like Teemo is Satan, even though Teemo's amazing? Poppy is actual Satan.
You're an AD carry main, so I'm pretty sure you know the wrath of any Poppy.
I'd rather play against Zed.
Oh man, Vardax just gets so many shields and lives through the burst. He heals himself too. And then the hook onto Kerp.
God, it's so good.
And then he starts walking forward because of the charm, and he's just completely blown up here. The kickback from Gilius onto Creatine sets up Vizichachi's heroic charge.
That was pretty glorious. Arcane Shift didn't save him. Brush didn't matter. Kill picked up. Now, good split by Kevin does take down bottom outer turret. Millenium are only down 1 turret here. They're actually keeping the objective somewhat in control, much like Unicorns was when they were behind. The problem is Unicorns are just winning fights so strongly. We've never seen a kill disparity this big before.
I don't think we've seen a lead this big at this point in the game, 24-minute mark, because the games have been going around 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Both game 1 and 2 were around that mark. And team didn't start to pull away. It was back and forth until about 30 minutes, and then team was just like, okay, we're busting out of the gate here, because the other team UOL just kept making bad moves or slightly bad mistakes. And now UOL are like, all right, We're going to cover ourselves. We're going to keep pushing turrets. We're going to use this Poppy. Vizichachi had a level advantage in that he was pushing it, and they played it perfectly. And it is Blade of the Ruined King is what it looks like.
All right, yep. Attack speed added to the build. And here we go. Kerp going to take a Q to the face. Vizichachi goes in for it.
Time.
Looks at Creatin. Creatin's like, I'm sorry, please.
And he
That's fine.
smacks him.
Out he goes. Turret goes down. Kevin gets flayed in. Gilius, though, is going to die. 1-for-0, but they trade back onto Rise. That is a big loss. That Kerp is dead. In they go for Kevin. He's going to lose some health. Crew, man. Cotnex goes down. 2-for-1. Unicorns of Love now inside the base.
They get that turret, and they're going to get this inhibitor off the back of it. And we might be looking at 100% win rate Poppy in the LCS.
In competitive play, certainly. Does Promotional count as in the LCS? I actually don't know.
The LCS
it's part of the
promotion tournament.
Yeah.
If you look behind the players, there's things that would say European Championship Series.
No.
Between the games.
Oh, okay. Between the games. Because I see there's like monoliths with champions on them.
Yeah, no, those are really cool too.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Pretty sure this is brought to you by the LCS.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to get this studio back.
Well, Kevin. Ooh, good enough flash by Jerry. Stays safe. Gets a wave of the Chachi's in the mix, and they're saying, you know what, that's a red buff, no big deal. Grabs that, goes to Vardogs here.
Yeah, they just don't let up. Unicorns of Love were pretty good at getting objectives when behind. When they are ahead, getting objectives is just that much easier for a team in general, and they do it so well.
Absolutely, they do. And with the gold lead, they manage to make the right choices here. It's just when they're behind, they seem...
Stop.
Zoom! Well,
Body
3
seconds.
correct answers. All right, so just farm for Millenium. All they can do is sit in the base, hope to defend, and do what they can to farm back up. But they are down 10,000 gold. They've got a dead inhibitor as well. Now, they have a whole bunch of late game, though, right?
Yes.
They've got this Kha'Zix jungle. They've got a Mundo who will get tanky forever, and a Rise who has still got room to scale. The problem is they're just being pressed so hard into their base. 26 minutes in. Dead Baron, dead inhibitor.
Is he going to get red?
Yep.
He's going to get red. Blade of the Ruined King completed. Smack, and it's gone.
Hex Drinker's next.
That's what it looks like.
Viable item. I was going to say that no matter what he does. It doesn't even matter at this point. I'm just trolling you with it.
Everything he buys is a viable item. Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
His Q's going to slow. And his charge will too. More AP for his Q damage.
Isn't that what the item just does in general?
Yeah.
You're just going to name what the item does because Poppy does everything.
However,
he's going ham.
Oh god, and he goes! And goodbye, J-Ree! You are a dead Nami. Vardogs gets the kill. Angel's caught next, and down he goes as well. 2-for-0. Creatin forced to run. Good flash away. But Vizichachi, the Terror. Blade of the Ruined King used. Creatin helps Summoner heals. He's going to get away, but by the way, a kill did come through for Kevin. 3-for-1 in this battle. Power people now stuck in the base.
They're going to go straight for the turret.
Yeah, they're going to go for this one. They've got some minions. It's only 2 members alive for Millenium. Gilius, isolated by Kerp. Vizichachi goes in, gets the shield. There's the slow. There's the jump. Gets him on the turret residue. Just barely. And Vizichachi 6-0-6 is dominating. This could be the game. Unicorns of Love going to take their second inhibitor kill.
They're low on their HP bars. We're about to have Cotnex back up alongside Kevin. They're going to have to back off of this. But they have 2 inhibitors down. And they actually ping towards the Baron. It's not up for another 2 minutes. They're clearing the ward. Somebody's on ward duty.
Well, Millenium just back in the same place over and over again. I mean, Millenium was always a team that in this series was winning off of their great early games, good individual skill, and just setting up for Dragons.
Yeah, and Cotnex 2-5-5. And, he has great kill participation. Really, really high, 7 out of the 8. But at the same time, didn't set up the right lanes. And look at Vizichachi. Like, we can't talk about this game without talking about Vizichachi. 6-0-6, slams J-Ree against the inhibitor, takes him out, doesn't get knocked up, and then goes straight after Cotnex, and then he chases Creatin out of the fight. Vardags is left by himself here to deal with Kevin and Kerp.
Rune Prison in turret range.
So everybody was tunneling the back line. Because that's the thing with Poppy, is you just don't give a damn about the front line.
Well, that's the cool thing as well, is that she's such a good siege breaker. Because you ult someone and then die of the AD carry, he has to leave turret range. Suddenly your team can push without their damage threat around.
Yeah. And a big part of this comp from Millenium is Creatin at the moment. Because Kerp, he's 3-6-2. His CS is okay, but it's about 100 less than where it should be at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
If he was actually on a farming champion. But he's been shut down. You can almost ignore him. He's going to go after somebody else. He's not going to try to chase the Poppy. The Poppy will be immune anyway. They're going to go!
Nayri gets hit up and down he goes. 1-0. Gilius is stuck. Finally gets the light after a kick onto the Mundo.
Where's the
Vizichachi
going?
goes in, finds Kerp. Kerp did get the kill on Power of Evil, but by the way, Poppy is going to kill you, but they might trade back on the AD carry. Vardox, no, he stays alive. Creation Vizichachi again in the mix, and down he goes! Wow, the Poppy damage is massive. Takes the Lantern in. Kevin, now the only guy alive. He is going to fall down. The ace for Unicorns of Love. The 807 Poppy from Vizichachi, undefeated. Unicorns of Love pull it into Game 4, and they keep their hopes of the LCS alive.
Off the back of a champion that has not seen competitive play, Vizichachi's Poppy. I don't even know what to say about that. That was a turret diving monster. The rest of the team had such a great game too off the back of it. They got the objectives that they needed in the early game. They got the lead when it looked like it was going to be a devastating early game in favor of Millenium once again. They got those early kills, and then it was just that turnaround at the top turret. And then he TP'd bot, set themselves up. First dragon of the game fell over to UOL, and they didn't let up the aggression.
Yeah, a great top lane teleport again by the top laner. Vizichachi made it happen. Poppy, you know, part of that, of course, but just in general, being there and getting that turnaround was so big, and they never let up. And that's the Unicorns of Love that we know from the Challenger scene. They win when they get an early game lead. And the weird thing is I'm going to kind of harp on it a little bit, it wasn't even that much Gilius.
No, it wasn't.
It was someone else taking up the reins of, I'm going to turn these ganks around. Vizichachi showed up and said, I'm going to turn these kills back, get that double kill top lane in there, make that happen.
Well, a big thing about that top lane was that they lane swapped it, right? So there was 2-on-2 in the top lane, and they left it the Mundo to duel the Poppy. So Poppy's completely fine there. Then in the top lane, they had this dive onto Hylissang after they got some kills for themselves, and that was where it went really awry for them. It was really strange to watch, because then you had Gilius show up. He did participate a little bit in that, but like you said, it wasn't all him. Highest kill participation in the game was the AD carry with 10, 3, and 11. He was involved in 21 out of the 26 kills.
Yeah.
So Vardog's on the Lucian, the comfort champion that we were talking about. When we saw the first pick Kha'Zix, we were like, you should pick Lucian here.
Yeah.
Like 100% pick Lucian here. They thought about it, they debated it for a long time, and then they locked it in for him, which I thought was the best possible choice they could have made.
And that's the interesting thing about this game is in best of 5, sometimes teams just don't adapt in time. Now, there were no adaptations in Game 2 by Unicorns of Love. Finally, in the third game, they adapt. An early game AD carry, suddenly a much better job there. Going for some counter picks in the top lane, pulling out the unique picks, the surprise picks to turn that around. Like, I understand why you don't change it around because Game 1 was so close, but I'm glad they said in Game 3, guys, it's not working. Let's just find something new. I wonder if it's going to be too little or too late, because if the only trick they have is Poppy, that gets banned out, series is over.
Well, at the same time, it was red side, so they had the counter pick there.
Right.
And also, just to tag this on at the end, Ohmwrecker is a bad item on her, because diplomatic immunity ignores turret shots.
Well, true.
Gotcha.
Whatever. For an expert take on the first Poppy win on the LCS stage, let's go back to the analyst desk.